Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are here with another interview. I'm your host, Dina Rock, and once again, I'm interviewing business owner and entrepreneur Bernard Chong.
Hello.
Hello, Bren. It's good to be interviewing you again because it's been a few years. So I'm excited to catch up with you because a lot has changed, I'm sure, for you and for our world as a whole post-pandemic since we last spoke. So let's kick it off with that. So first off, what's changed for you since the pandemic for business-wise or life-wise?
A lot have changed when you go to a new territory
Mm-hmm.
like USA from a third world country. You kind of observe the difference. Like this is more systematic,
Yeah.
and everything here is slower because the system has to input your in. And if you're making business here too, you gotta know what system fits you, and then you gotta apply things that works with the system. So I think it was slow at start, but now I feel
Yeah.
like I get the hang of it, and I feel more comfortable, and I feel like I'm rolling now to
Okay.
faster improvement.
Okay, well, that's great. And so, for those of you who are new tuning into our interviews, Bren used to live in the Philippines. So, are you permanently residing in the United States now?
No, not really permanently
Okay.
residing. I'm just finishing some stuff here, but I like to think myself to be a global citizen.
Okay.
So, hopefully we got a place in Philippines, we got a
Mm-hmm.
place in USA, hopefully we got a place in other countries too.
Okay.
That's like 15, 20-year plan.
Got you. So, right now, would you say that living here or working here is kind of your base station?
For now, yes.
Okay.
We're doing stuff here.
Okay, so speaking of that, one of the things that I saw that you started was a coffee shop. What can you tell us about that?
Well, I have a company and friends in Panama,
Okay.
and we have a construction business there. And they like coffee beans also because
Me too.
yeah, because that place is very fertile land because of the
Okay.
land geography land. And it occurred to me that when I try the coffee, it's nice, and I want to bring it to the Americans or to the general public.
Yeah.
And I think it's the right way to drink coffee without milk, without sugar. You taste it like really good. So we made to a point to teach people that this is like a good coffee and this is the way to drink it. And
Okay.
it's healthier too.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So is the a coffee shop in Panama?
Yeah, we opened Mendo in Panama. It's open now, and it's Panamanian beans, geisha
Okay.
beans. We serve food there also,
Okay.
but we're trying to open it in LA too. So it's almost done. We're just some finishing touches, and then I think if we do the next interview, it would be open.
Oh, that's exciting. So what kind of food does it serve? Like breakfast foods or pastries?
Now pastries for now, easy to serve food. The main thing is coffee, and then maybe on the sides are breads. So we're starting simple for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting, and that's something new for you, right? This is your first coffee shop that you've opened?
Well, I've been part of Tim Hortons Philippines,
Oh,
and it's a
okay.
franchise.
Okay, that's it.
And that one is like a big conglomerate brand
Huge.
in Canada. Yeah. So, but this is like just trying a different way on my own, not a huge brand where
Yes.
they tell you what system it is.
Like a franchise.
Yeah, like a franchise. And this one is like we're making our own system.
That's
Yeah.
exciting. Coffee and food as well. You own a few restaurants, correct?
Yes, in Manila, I own few restaurants. Here, I part owned Zozo in Madison,
Okay.
but I just a small share.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to plant businesses and seeds businesses here in USA.
Okay. What kind of food is it, Zozo here?
It's Mediterranean food.
Oh, yum. That's good. And then in Philippines, I know you own a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah,
correct?
we have a Chinese restaurant there. We have Korean restaurant there. But
Okay.
again, all our minority shares that have really partners who are operating the business.
I see. I've always heard opening and operating a restaurant is difficult and it's competitive. Do you agree with that?
Everything's difficult,
Mm-hmm.
especially in restaurant business, because every theft can be there because you have sugar, you have anything, salt, rice. Easily anybody can use it at home, at their home.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be really firm with security and systems, and also prices do vary when you buy
Big time.
ingredients. So, and then you cannot have a price variation when you finish the menu. So it's really difficult too. But I guess all business have their own challenges.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. I mean, it definitely seems nowadays the prices have fluctuated a lot for food.
Yes.
Do you feel that same shift in Manila and with the restaurants in Manila?
Yeah, I think generally everything's becoming more expensive,
Yeah.
but that's inflation, money probably getting smaller. But then again, life business moves on, and
Mhm.
policy is policy, and
Mhm.
rules are rules. In economic rule is somebody gets the business always. So
That's
if
true.
you think like you're in the wrong line of business or what, the more precise there is like somebody did their homework. That's why they thrive.
Mm,
They thrive in restaurant, they thrive in whatever business. Somebody just got the business, but
yeah.
it's really not that you're in the wrong thing. You probably didn't do your assignment well.
Well, that's a good tip for viewers
Yeah.
watching that are hoping to start a business.
Yeah, because I sometimes I talk to people and people said, "What do you think? What line of business I am? What's the
Yeah.
in thing?" And in my thought and opinion, with experience, people make it if they're passionate and if they're dedicated and committed. But there's a
Mhm.
lot of people who somehow like but suddenly change their mind
Mhm.
and they're not really into it. They feel like they're not in the right thing,
Yeah.
and that's right. They're not in the right thing because they weren't committed.
Yeah.
We have experience with a lot of different businesses and
Mhm.
troubles, and all of them have a phase of challenging phase, and you just have to move on. You
Yeah.
have to move forward and make sure that you do the next possible step to to be better. We have an app in Manila. It was stopped, and you don't know whatever reason it is, but the
Yeah.
government didn't want it. But then again, I could easily just say, "No, let's stop this. Let's not
Yeah.
do this, and let's do. We're in the wrong business." But again, me and my partner, we said, "No, let's continue this." I mean, I can't tell the exact story yet, like still,
Mm.
but what I can tell is it's progressed a lot. And
Okay.
I really do believe now, again, in the next interview, it'll be operating and it would be very, very successful.
And so this is an app that you are working on right now for Manila, for the US, internationally?
Well, it's in the US,
Okay.
but it's gonna be a global app.
Okay, because your previous app that you were working on was a new form of social media,
Yeah,
I
it
would
was
say.
Leica before.
So will it be similar, a new social media style app, or something different?
It would be similar to it with a lot of improvement.
Okay.
So, but just citing an example to the people, like
Mhm.
we've worked 2 years for it and it grew big and then it was stopped. And then any people who are not dedicated would just say, I'll take the punch, I'll move on to a
Yeah.
different industry. But if you're committed and dedicated, but again, it's not yet done, it's not yet out,
Yeah.
but we're really working on it. We didn't stop. So you'll see, and I've seen it. I'm very happy and proud of what we're accomplished. And I'm excited also for users to use it, and I'm sure they will love it. This is far, far superior and better, and we have better partners. It's gonna launch this year.
Oh, well, I'm very excited, and I'm looking forward to the next interview then, where we can talk about it maybe a little bit more, and I'm sure everybody else will as well. And you've talked a lot about already kind of the idea of starting up a business. So you recommend for everybody that's listening, because again, I know that probably a big chunk of your audience are people who want to become entrepreneurs and they want to start their own businesses, but they don't know how to start. And I do think that there's a lot of people out there that go in with a mindset of, well, what's successful right now? What can I get rich quick doing? But you don't recommend starting that way, correct?
I recommend thinking of a problem, how to make life
Okay.
easier, how to make people's life better, and deal with that problem.
Mm-hmm.
And if you offer solutions to the marketplace, then you have a good business. I think there is a never ending opportunity of being creative, of
Mm-hmm.
how you can help people and how can you can make something very easier if you're just dedicated.
Yeah, and it sounds like you recommend for the people that they have something that they love, but it's not working for them, to keep pushing and to find new avenues.
Yes, I think something they love and they stop is they thought they love it
Yeah.
and then suddenly not. But if
Yeah.
you really love it, you will really work on it. And somewhere there would be a blessing or a silver lining or a pathway that you say, oh, I found a way, something
Mm-hmm.
like that.
And it seems more rewarding as well once you do find that successful path.
Yes, that's true. So you have to just be maintained. I like to cite an example where sometimes you make deals,
Mm-hmm.
and all the deals that we make are from smaller companies that turn us down, and they turn us down because they can't cater to us because they're really small. And then finally, there's a very big company, really humongous companies that's working with us, and I thought myself like, oh, so that's why. Because they were so small. If we worked with them, I wouldn't met this big company.
Yeah.
And now this big
Okay.
company is working with us. It's like, again, you just have to be. But during those moments where you were turned down by the small companies, you feel like I rather give up
Yeah.
because you were turned down several times.
Mm-hmm.
But we were dedicated. We kept pushing forward, and then this big company. Now it's almost I could say that are lawyering for us. They're
Yeah.
like pushing us.
Yeah.
They're just teaching us or something.
And this is in regards to the app you're working on?
Yeah, in the
Okay.
app.
Well, that's exciting. And I think and hopefully inspiring for people that are listening today to help them propel forward and keep going. So speaking of things that you love gaming and esports. So tell us, how is Bren Esports doing?
Bren Esports is now named AP Bren,
Okay.
and I struggled to operate it by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a very good friend, AJ Ponce, who helped me, and we decided to rename it AP Bren, and he's managing it actually. We won the M5 championship,
Wow.
and yeah, of
Congratulations.
Mobile Legends. But
Okay.
right now we still stick to the Mobile Legends
Mm-hmm.
game only because that's where only thing we're successful, and resource still finite, and
Mm-hmm.
so we stick to things that we're really good at and we're really blessed. So for now, the only game that AP Brand is having a team is Mobile Legends. Hopefully, we can
Gotcha.
expand to some other games more.
Where does the name AP Bren come from? Where does the AP part represent?
AP is Acer's Ace Pro
Okay.
from a different team, but I
Ah,
like to
okay.
think it's the my partner's also initials, which AJ
Ah,
Ponce, AP,
okay.
and then Brent says two-person, can be two teams too. But I think it's a good fit. I thought of some signals that it would be a good fit because Brent Esports won the M2 world
Mm-hmm.
champion, and AP Brent was blessed also to win the M5 champion. So I
Wow.
think that's a sign from the universe that it's a good fit.
Yes.
And we won world champion, world title. It's written there. You cannot be taken it away.
Yeah.
So I know AP Brand is in the right track.
Is there still, that was way years ago when you had started an arena, an actual brick and mortar location for esports. Is that still around, or do you find that it's easier to do for everybody to work remote as a player?
Actually, there's nothing beating a face-to-face
True.
team up, training and everything. So I guess if you have a choice between remote
Mm-hmm.
and actual meet up and rapport and energy, the I would rather have the actual meetup and energy. As much as conference meeting and outside meeting is works, it's not as energetic as you
Mm-hmm.
feel it when you're with the person. It's something
Yeah.
different. Everything is still energy.
And I assume that you carry over that same sentiment into business as well.
Yes.
And so you prefer face-to-face meeting in person.
I feel like face-to-face meeting in person, you kind of know more sure if they can be trusted, if they're not can be
Mm-hmm.
trusted and stuff, rather than a meeting from virtual stuff. Virtual stuff makes you know the person, the idea, and something, but
Yeah.
in face-to-face meeting, there's a lot more stuff you can observe.
Did you find it difficult to work with new or potential business partners or clients during the pandemic when people weren't really meeting face to face?
Actually, everything is difficult when you're learning.
Mhm.
And that's how it's supposed to be because you
Mhm.
filter stuff. And yes, I have my difficulties. And I believe that everyone has difficulties in their life. Everyone.
Yeah.
Because somewhere when at your age, you know all the stuff you know from the previous history. But moving forward, there's still something that you're doing that is new to you. So you may seem difficult because
Yeah.
it's new and you don't know. So that's the word difficult means is you don't know. That's why you seems difficult. But people who know, it's like it's not difficult. They're just gonna do it. It's like walk
Mhm.
in the park. They know. What my real meaning is, people really grow and learn stuff they don't know, and it seems difficult. But they just have to understand that because they don't know who to network, they don't know what to do. That seems difficult, but it's just the knowledge and wisdom
Mhm.
and connection there. Once you figure them out, then you just do it. Then you go to a next level of, okay, what can we tackle again? What can we solve again? That's we don't know.
Yeah, I
That's
think
just how we grow.
a lot of people they hold themselves back because of the fear of new or unfamiliar. So, I mean, you're encouraging people to push through, to learn it, and to continue.
Yeah, that's how progress is made. And if you think of it, like I said again, we will never have run out of ideas of how to improve society, how to improve lifestyle, how to improve community, how to improve health, bodybuilding, whatever. There's a progression tree line of there's what's the next level? How would you bring to the next step? If you discover like iron, you discover steel, and then you discover a different material, and then you can combine stuff to make another material. Same thing with life, same thing with business, same thing with whatever inventions.
That makes a lot of sense. So going back to the pandemic, with talking about the changes and kind of how everybody had to adapt, did you run into any challenges in business or personal life during the pandemic?
Yes, and challenges is always everyday thing, but we solve them, and sometimes you have to take time into account to solve them. Of course, doing things right will always produce right result, and doing things wrong, which you cannot escape also. Sometimes you're learning how to do it and you do it wrongly. But you have to understand that's part of life experience.
Yeah.
And then you have to be adaptive and make sure that you recognize it and make the right decision, pivot it to make it the right decision.
Well, hopefully that's encouraging once again to people listening, because I think there's a lot of people that their businesses failed or they lost their jobs during the pandemic and weren't sure how to adapt.
Again, failed. For
Yeah.
example, the word failed. If you stop, then you failed. Otherwise, you just say you were in challenge,
Okay.
troubled, but you
Yeah.
have something to fix, which is probably good. You have something to learn from.
Yeah, I think people take the word fail as such a finite, like I have failed this, I am done, I have to do something different. And you're saying not always.
If you
it's a
quit,
change.
if you
Right.
quit, if you
Okay,
stop
yeah.
that, then you can say it's failed. But any person who've done something and not yet there, haven't reached the outcome they want, but they're still doing it, I don't think it's failure. It's just think that they're still learning.
So speaking of that and failure or potentially moving on from failure, what's been your biggest lesson that you've learned this past year since we last spoke?
I feel like if you would explore and learn, you would really understand that there's so much we don't know as a person, and so much development is being made, so much materials being made, so much experiments are being made. You can just gather this information, and so much also people are doing some stuff that you can be part of, and you can help in a legwork or whatever. You can be part of a good group. What I learned so much from my time is like always look ahead, keep moving forward, and always dream, always imagine. It sounds like very basic, but anything really that here is made by people. So you can still make your own creativity and invention and still be successful on it, but you have to make the right, the group, the right resource too, which is just available there.
And how do people find that right group?
Well, depends. If it's engineering job, I'm sure there's a marketing or outsourcing corporation that's engineering that's good in engineers. If it's an accounting job, I'm sure there's a professional accounting job. Just deal with people who have done it and try to get them onboarded with your whatever your project is. And if it's funding, like I said before, there's like virtual capitalists. And I think
Yes.
the AI also helps now because before you
Yeah.
don't know and you will research on people who knows and books. So now you just can type, hey, AI, Meta AI or what, you just say, who's the venture capitalist for example, sports, or who's the venture capitalist
Wow.
for movies, or who's the venture
Yeah.
capitalist for healthcare, and then they would bunch of names. I think nowadays computer AI can make progress faster if you just know how to use them.
I remember, because you and I have been doing interviews since I think 2016, and I remember you telling me back then that in the future AI is going to be a huge factor and a huge deal and going to change the way of life, and it's that moment is here now. How did you know that was coming down the pipeline?
Humans are good at computing, but computers and are more better at computing,
Yes.
right? So you let people or thing or machines that do better works do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just had the foresight that AI is gonna be there because I
Yeah.
studied computer. My degree in school was electronics communication engineering. So I kind of have a foresight for it.
Okay.
But I think even now AI is still like a baby yet.
Mm-hmm.
Still, I think 15 years, 10 years from now, they would really decide on their own, and we will really depend on them more than we're depending on them now.
On AI?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I can't believe how much it's already progressed, and like you said, it's still in its infancy. So, I mean, it's going to explode. And so you just typed in venture capitalist for sports, or?
Yeah, yeah, because sometimes I go out, I
Yeah.
do consulting to people ask
Mm-hmm.
me for
For
opinions and
businesses?
everything. Yes.
Okay.
It's free, okay? I don't charge. I
Okay.
mean,
Wow,
I,
that's nice.
because I like learning, I like
Yeah.
solving problems. So if you have friends who have, wants my opinion or what, or
Mm-hmm.
let me look at it, they just invite me. That's
Mm-hmm.
okay. I like it too. And
That's
I can even
generous.
go to their place too.
Yeah.
Anyway, most of the problems when I define it, and most of them really think that their problem is money. Like
Yes.
most people, they really think their problem is money.
Yeah.
They think they know it all. But that's again, it's part of learning too.
Mm-hmm.
So the easiest thing to do is really is if you're in healthcare, just type VCs for health, and then all the corporations will go. If you're doing sports, you just say VC for sports, and there was
Mm-hmm.
like a mandate of they're really putting to sport, and you just email them, and
And last time we had talked, you were reaching out to venture capitalists. So are you still looking for venture capitalists to work with?
Well, you can always need capital, but right now we're in the big projects we're talking,
Yep.
okay? Because I can handle my own with all domestic stuff, but on the big projects working, we're looking for funding, but
Yep.
we're not looking for venture capitalists at the moment because we haven't launched yet, but the list is there. We're looking for angel investors
Gotcha.
for this one, but it's almost complete. It's almost done. That,
For the app?
for the app. Yeah.
Okay, that's very exciting. And so throughout the years, you've also invited people to, if they have ideas for business, to reach out to you. So is that open invite still available?
Right now, resource is still with my own personal resource because
Yep.
angel investing. I'm tight with resource, but what I recent past 6 months, I've been invited to look at business plans and
Mm-hmm.
check business plans and give my advice or my insights
Mm-hmm.
on what they're doing. I have enough resource to live my life, to feed the family, and if it's just small startup capital, maybe I can.
Yep.
But right now, I'm in the situation too, right? But I think everybody's here is having tough time,
Yes, I
and
think so.
and it's just a matter of time where all the things that we planted will be harvesting.
How can people connect with you if they do want your consulting or to work with you?
Well, you can tell them my email.
Okay.
They can email me, and I have my Instagram also. I am
Okay.
Bren Chong, so
I'll
they can,
link both of those in the
yeah,
comment
they can
section
DM
below.
me. Yeah.
Okay.
Especially if they're like in California, if
Okay.
they're in USA, if they're in New York. I
Which
sometimes
is exciting.
sometimes I do fly also.
Okay.
If they invite me, I do fly just to see them. They don't need to pay for my flight. They just tell me I need you here in this one, which is normally I shouldn't be doing because that's like my personal time and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm such an adventurous guy,
Yeah.
and I like to be out and I like to be learning. So if it fits my schedule, I'll just do it. Sometimes I'm also, if I can't, I'll tell them, oh, you need me in, for example, New York. I tell them I'll be in New York 2 months from now. So maybe 2 months from now they can set it in their calendar. So I go there, do my business, and on the side I could help someone too and meet someone too. I like really meeting people. I think that's the way to live,
Mm-hmm.
and experiencing also other experiences, restaurant stuff, talking, learning. That's just how it is.
I think that's a wonderful attitude. And again, I will put his Instagram and his email in the comment section below. So speaking of, you had mentioned personal time. What are you doing for fun these days?
Well, I'm still focused on my goal. Of course, the businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Every businesses have their own. What's the next thing? What's the next move? So I take into account that everything's progressing slowly, but I really feel like we're on the right track and everything's on the right track. I still go out, meet people,
Mm-hmm.
mingle. I'm meeting new friends
Mm-hmm.
in America almost on a weekly basis
Oh, that's
because
good.
of referrals,
Yeah.
and I like it. I feel like that's just life. I mean, I'm 43 years old. I just like have another 40 years, 50 years. I just have to make sure that I put it out there what I know I share so the kids they will learn and hopefully they grow up better. I observe that kids now are better than the kids before, they know more,
Yeah.
they have informations more, they're more confident. That's how I see it. I don't know. But I really think they're gonna solve bigger challenges still and they're gonna play a bigger part. So that's what I'm doing. I'm still exploring.
Yeah, and meeting new people. Are you playing any video games or mobile games?
I thought about that. I really like games
Yeah.
sometimes, but I guess my responsibility now on a business level and a family level, and
Yeah.
I don't have time for games for the moment. Sometimes I do still play, Diablo Immortal. Sometimes I
Oh,
play Clash
yeah.
Royale, Games of General. I do read. I sometimes play Be the King still, but very seldom.
Okay.
Very seldom.
That's how we met, if you guys don't know, through Clash
Yeah.
Royale, which I
I,
just
I
downloaded
still
again.
say that games are great, but they're great for a certain age and they can meet mingle because I met a lot of good people through gaming because of the social thing,
Yeah.
social part there. But somehow when you're an adult and you're a parent and you got kids and you got business to run and everything,
Yeah.
you have to really pick sometimes. It's just not working with me that I don't have time for games, but I think for people who don't have things to do, I think picking a game and doing the social network thing, and
Yeah.
they might open a door there.
Which you have done,
Yes,
correct?
before.
And can you, for people who don't know how to do that or have never thought of that, how did you connect with people or other business partners through gaming? Can you explain that for them?
Well, you just pick a game and then you play the game, and there's a social aspect of it. Somehow you kind of know this call sign or
Yeah.
player's name. You kind of know
The
if they're
gamer tag.
helpful, the name tag. Yeah,
Yeah.
if they're helpful, if they're like talking properly, if they're like
True.
you kind of know more or less, and that's
Yeah.
that's a sign, and that's also a training of how you meet people too. And then from there, you kind of let them grow. If you want to meet them, talk to them, see if they're in the same area, and I believe that gaming plays a huge part on developing society too. I mean, it's just not out there, but everybody, we all know we played games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And I feel like just such a unique and forward thinking mindset. So I appreciate you sharing that.
Another example, for
Yeah.
example, okay, you're playing Diablo 4
Yep.
or like role playing game. There's a map, it's shrouded. You don't know, and there's an NPC,
Yep.
and then you talk to the player, and then they give you quests and stuff and reward, right? It's very basic and it's
Yes.
there. But actually, life is like that too. Somebody will hit you up. Can I meet you? It's
Yes.
like an NPC, and you talk to
Yes.
them. You go to the other places, other area, territory,
Yeah.
state, country that you haven't known, and then it's like a shroud of fog of war there that you
Yes.
don't know. Then when you
Unknown.
come there, it will be known. So I feel like gaming sometimes from there is a training of your real life
Oh,
too, in
yeah.
a way. And then you get points. Sometimes you're gonna do the mission, but you don't know what's the ending.
Right.
But you know, as a character wise, you become more experienced and you kind of know the story and you can tell it to your friends. Life's like that too. Sometimes you learn a skill, you learn a DJ skill, you learn building stuff,
Yep.
and then you don't know, but you do it. Then you know, and then you know how to share. So I mean, life is
Yeah.
actually similar to gaming if you kind of like see it that way.
Yeah, that's cool. That's such a great way to think about it. I wanted to ask you this earlier on in the interview because you had mentioned your partners in construction. So, what are the projects in construction that you're involved in or working on?
Well, we have a 180-acre construction in Panama, but it's
Okay.
low-cost housing. But it's been out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 20-year project, 15-year
Mm-hmm.
project. So it's been developing. It's been good.
Okay.
But that's one is steady. So
Mm-hmm.
it's being built, it's being sold,
Yep.
then rebuild again the capital. I guess this one you have to ask me 10 years from now.
Okay. And
I can
see how
show
it's
you.
going.
Yeah.
Are there any other projects or businesses that you're working on right now beyond the ones that you've shared that you want to share?
I'm working with some films now.
Ooh,
I'm
okay.
producing films with A-list actor. But then
Amazing.
again, they're gonna start shooting on probably towards the end of the quarter.
Okay.
It's an action movie. I'm working with Byron Mann, so he's a good friend, and
Mm-hmm.
he also tells me, teach me also. He's older than me.
Yeah.
He teach me about LA, teach me how to
Oh.
stuff too. Kinda he's a good person, and I look at him a lot. Like he teach me one wise thing or two about about LA. And other than that, I did put money on producing films, and
Mhm.
then the construction's there, the coffee shop's there, the app we're
Mhm.
making it, and so far I'm into a chess community. So I'm building something with chess,
Mhm.
semi-organization community chess with a possible movie, but we're still on
Okay.
the early stage. But the app of also with chess
Mhm.
that you can play against, we're designing it, but that's still on the infant stage. So
Okay.
maybe next year I would tell you all about it. Ask me again about it, and I'll tell you the progression of we did. But we're making work and hoping that all the the chess players will be working with us. Hopefully,
Oh, that's exciting. I mean,
yeah,
especially on Twitch, chess has blown up, and there are so many people that are sharing their strategies or playing on Twitch or doing tournaments on Twitch, which is really
yeah, yeah.
cool. Because I feel like, I mean, it's such an old game. It's not a new video game, so it's something different for everybody, and they can learn from it. Well, thank you so much for doing the interview today. Is there anything else before we sign off that you want to share with everybody?
Well, I always think of ways to take this opportunity to share to the people what I think is right, and I really
Hmm.
think that you always have to look for your good friends, good surroundings, always have a positive energy. And if there's a problem or trouble, remember these are temporary. You can solve them. You can solve them by asking people who have done it. And always the the more important way also is open your mind, observe people, observe how they talk, listen to what they say, observe what they do, and see if you want to mingle with them or you see where they're heading from. And if you think you like, just go mingle with them. And if
Hmm.
you don't like, then maybe it's not a good fit, then go with people who you think it's a good fit to you. Also, doing a project now, alignment is very important. So, learning how to communicate properly to be aligned so that you both know that you're in this for 5 years, for 10
Hmm.
years, for 2 years is really important because most things are destroyed by being misaligned and could have been saved by being aligned with communication. So, that's very important too.
Well, thank you, Bren, so very much for doing yet another interview with me and everybody. I will put, once again, his contact information in the comment box below. And for the following year, if you have any questions or things that you want to know and ask Bren, put it in the comment section below or reach out to him as well directly. And Bren, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you too.
All right, bye.
Bye bye.